Hello, welcome back to the Upset Special. We're in week 5, and of course, we're the Transfer Portal CFB, presented by NoContextCFB. Hey, you're watching on YouTube. You gotta like, you gotta subscribe, and you gotta comment below a few of the upsets that you see happening in week 5. Before we get into this, I'm gonna run down how things went last week. Dave, my guy, Rutgers over Iowa was never the call. That did not go as planned, and the punt off, the defensive touchdowns, the game went over. It was a lot of upset people. And then Wake Forest, man, I think you would have had that win over Clemson if Aaron Judge actually homered on the split screen. But what can you do? Like Texas Tech over Texas was a laser beam that you got. Bijan Mustardson coughed that ball up in OT and, got you that W right quick. Washington State, though, over Oregon, probably should have had that. 99.9% of people would say, dude, you should have won that game. You got robbed there. Last week, we had Andrewster with us, who dotted James Madison over App State in that rivalry. And then for some unknown reason, he said South Florida is going to beat Louisville. That's a contender for one of the worst picks we've given out. Of course, Dave, Nebraska, OU. It's
yep.
Oof. Actually, I have a pick that could join that. Chattanooga over Illinois from me last week is what it might be the worst pick that we'll ever have. They threw 2 interceptions on one drive. It was that bad.
That was tough.
Yeah, and then Sac State over Colorado State, which Sac State closed as a 3.5 point favorite. I'm sorry, we didn't know that was going to happen. Run off the records right quick, Dave. 1-7 Iowa State over Iowa's which you've got in a real upset. Like a 3-5 Texas Tech over Texas, Kansas over Houston, Old Dominion over Virginia Tech. Andrewster, who was with us last week, 1-1 James Madison over App State, as we mentioned. Jake, not with us today, 2-4 Kentucky over Florida, Florida over Utah. A little trend there for Jake. He should keep picking Florida games. I am 3-5 with Sac State over Colorado State, and Carmen Word over Nevada, Tulane over Kansas State. And then Dylan is with us today, and he's 0-0. He's looking to get on the board. Or join us in the sub 500 club.
Yes, sir. I'm a little intimidated right now. There's kind of a culture in this program that I'm not used to, so I'm kind of jumping into unknown territory, but I'm excited.
This is definitely not like anything else we do. I feel we are just extremely enthusiastic at all times, all about the bad vibes, and we're just absolute sickos when it gets to this. So let's jump into week 5 and let's each share 2 upset picks that we have.
You're first, pal.
We randomized the order, remember?
You want me to go? Okay, I'll still go first. My first one, I literally have nothing to say. It's just Iowa over Michigan. There's just something weird about that game that, one, there's zero reason Iowa should win. So I'm not going to give any reasons why Iowa will win, because there are no reasons. They just have a very good defense. They have a terrible offense. I pick on Spencer Petras to go get me an upset. It's probably not going to happen, but can the defense keep them in this game at the end of the day and have this as a 1-possession game in the fourth quarter? I have no doubt about that. The defense and special teams can win Iowa this game, because I just think college football is such a level playing field in 2022 outside of 3 teams. Michigan's not one of those 3 teams. They're going to find themselves susceptible to upsets along the way. Road game at Iowa here. Who's not a lot of people are giving Iowa a chance. So give me Spencer Petras to win a game for me. Oof.
Confidence boosting, oozing out of Liam with that pick.
Yeah, those are the best kind of picks on the show. I think Michigan's gonna dog walk Iowa. Honestly,
That's
They're-
okay.
yeah, I would kind of.
I don't blame you. I don't think I was good.
The only way Iowa's gonna win is if it's 2-0, brother. That's the problem. That's the only way they have to win.
It's all good. It's all good.
2-0.
I'm
Yeah.
shooting for 9-6.
Their defense
Yeah,
is good
look.
enough to stop them, but Iowa's offense is just so putrid that they're not gonna be able to score.
When they
Defense
won-
is their offense.
Yeah, when Iowa won when they played Michigan, it was like 19-18 or whatever. Something like that. It's gotta be some weird score where Iowa Spencer Petras is gonna Phillip Rivers them down the field. Like the Phillip Rivers scenario every single time when he had the ball, when he was with the Chargers and the Colts. So it's going to be one of those for Spencer Petras.
I disagree. I think Iowa, if it comes on the game-winning drive or something, a game-winning score late, it's just on a Torrey Taylor punt that gets muffed and they're covered in the end zone or something. And there's the ball game. This is a sickos pick. Sickos committee is very proud of this pick. I'm not. If Iowa wins, though, just know I told you all. I told you all from the jump. Iowa was the better team. So many reasons that they could win. Spencer Petras is the X factor. Sam Laporte is going to go for 350 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns. Easy money here.
Yeah, that's definitely a sickos pick for sure. Iowa has won games like this in the past, but those were good Iowa teams when they're ranked in the top 25, and this is the worst Iowa team in the past 5 years, I think. So it's gonna be interesting. I think they'll keep it close in the first half, and then I'm not so sure in the second.
Yeah, you said Spencer Petras is the X factor. I think he's the X factor as in America's Got Talent X. I don't
Bring Howie back.
Yeah, bringing back Howie, transfer portal legend Howie Mandel. But I do think it could be close in the first half. If Iowa gets points on the board, I think it'll be defense. But Michigan just doesn't. They take such good care of the football. I don't see the defense being such a game changer. I don't know.
I guess I'll go into my next pick because I'm second now. It's a little weird. I'm off keel with Rouge first. Before I start, I would like to Liam, stop making fun of me for the Iowa State pick, please, because they closed as a 3-4 point dog, and you have 2 of your wins are favorites.
No, only
But yes,
one of my win is a
2
favorite.
of your-
Incarnate Word
Incarnate Word,
closed as a
they were
3-point
minus
underdog.
1. They
closed
I
as
don't
a
think
3-point
so.
under.
I'm pretty
Yes,
sure
they
Incarnate
did.
Word closed as a favorite.
No.
At
They
least
closed as a 3-point
they were a
underdog.
favorite at one point. So Iowa State was never a favorite in that game. They were always a dog. So it's an underdog pick.
Incarnate
So-
Word closed +4.
Okay, fine. But the Sac State closed -3.
Look, I didn't know what the spread was while I was
I
picking
know,
it.
I
I
know, I'm
said on the
kidding.
show, dude, it's probably gonna be like Colorado State -2, or I pick them -3.5, 4.
Speaking of Iowa State, I'm going back to Ames, Rock Chalk Jayhawk over Iowa State. Kansas is it's weird. They're electric. They're a lot of fun to watch. Are you not going to count this one? I think it counts.
Only because they're not ranked. Because
Well,
the 8 people
They're a
are
home
full
dog too, I
idiots.
think.
If they were ranked, I wouldn't have taken it. But they open up as a 4-point dog and they're +3 right now, and I think
Yeah,
it's going
you
to sit
got
there
it,
the
you
entire
got it.
time. So I mean, I wrote it down. If you don't want to count it, I can go.
No,
to
you
I can go to
got
a different
it.
pick.
I would
but-
veto it if
They were ranked.
the 8 people had a pulse.
Yeah, they should be ranked. But yeah, Jalen Daniels, Daniel Highshaw, Devin Neal, they just run the ball over the place. They're scoring 48.5 points a game. They're so much fun. It's actually bizarre to me how much fun this team is. The defense is a little shoddy, but I don't think Iowa State's offense is good. The game against Baylor was just a game that kind of forgot happened. Kansas is a lot of fun, and I think they will be ranked after this win at Iowa State because I think they win this game. They're +3. I think they win by a touchdown.
You
Better be
sure?
ranked after this game.
You
Yeah,
sure
they'll be
they'd
ranked.
be ranked? I feel like the 8 people would just, I don't know, rank Iowa State if they lost this game. It seems kind of fitting with what they've done.
What they're doing, yeah. I don't know what on earth they're doing, but it's Kansas is a lot of fun. 2007, man, we're back, and I think that they'll win this game, and they're gonna run for over 300 yards. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
think they'll have a tough time guarding Xavier Hutchinson though, but that'll probably be their only issue because Xavier
Yeah.
Hutchinson has been damn near unstoppable all season
Yeah,
long.
he's unreal.
So if anybody's going to give them fits, it's probably him. I'm going to stick in the Big 12. I'm going to go a little bit bolder though. I'm going to go TCU over Oklahoma. I was really high in Oklahoma last year. I had them going to the national championship game last year, which oof, that was a miss. And I feel like I'm on the complete opposite train this year. Like I don't even think they're gonna win their conference, to be honest. I just think the Big 12 is one of the wildest conferences that we've got in the Power Five and in the country. And Oklahoma lost to Kansas State because of just the pure speed and rushing ability that offense has. And TCU is better than that Kansas State offense. Like they're faster. I think their playmakers can really destroy any defense in the country. I really think Kendry Miller and Demercado, like those guys are dogs. And the last time Oklahoma lost to Kansas State, they turned around, went to Ames, and lost to Iowa State the next week. I'm pretty sure I picked Oklahoma to bounce back in a revenge game because I was like, hey, they're angry. They're going to win. They're not losing 2 in a row. I'm not falling for that again. I got TCU.
I like the pick. I would like to tell Sonny Dykes, Keandre Miller is on my fantasy team and he's really good. And I just think that you should get the yards per carry leader in the country the ball a lot more. Actually, he might not be anymore because Jay and Ott might own that now, but Keandre's a NFL back 100%. He just doesn't get enough touches and it's sad.
I guess I will make my first selection. A wise man once said they paid us $1.5 million and then they averaged 1.6 yards a carry on us and we kicked their tail. And that was Middle Tennessee State head coach. And I think they're gonna upset UTSA. They're open as a 4-point underdog at home, coming off of beating Miami on the road. Chase Cunningham's already thrown for 1,000 yards passing. Frank Peasant at running back has been very good as well, and Jalen Lane, wide receiver. And I like Middle Tennessee State over UTSA, although I know UTSA probably is a little bit better than 2-2. They had a tough loss at Houston, but Middle Tennessee State being an underdog at home after beating a nationally ranked Miami team on the road is pretty puzzling to me. And I don't think it's going to puzzle anyone when they win.
I had the Blue Raiders right below TCU and Oklahoma. That was my next one. So I respect that. I mean, you want to talk about speed. Middle Tennessee's got some speed. Like the DJ England Chisholm touchdown just got me out of my seat, man.
Ridiculous.
That was electric. So yeah, I'm all aboard Middle Tennessee State.
I didn't think that pick would go over well with the Meat Nation that the transfer portal CFB has. I'm surprised that Dylan agrees with it. So I'll just be the guy to say, no, look, MTSU had some really good teams with a lot of talent, and Kevin Byard sticks out, of course. NFL, I like that guy's an absolute star in the NFL. What I noticed with MTSU and their Stockstill teams is he's been their coach since 2006. A lot of good teams, a lot of good talent, a lot of disappointment. To me, personally, I think that this is a letdown spot for them. I love Stockstill talking from a content perspective and everything. Dude, you won the game. Focus on UTS. You have a really good UTSA team coming in to Murfreesboro this week. Focus on them. I don't like him talking like that when they have a really good conference opponent coming up. Just knowing what MTSU has failed to do in the past scares me for this game.
Yeah, I agree with that being a letdown spot because, again, that's such a crazy emotional win coming off Miami. And UTSA is arguably the best team in CUSA, second best team up there with UAB. This is a huge game for MTSU to prove to pretty much the country that they're legit and can win the conference. But I think UTSA is really good. Them being a dog at home after that win against Miami is it's very interesting, but also
the eyebrows get raised.
Yeah, I think Vegas is trying to trap you here, and they're like, everyone's thinking, why is Middle Tennessee a 4-point dog to beat Miami? Let's take Middle Tennessee. I think either Middle Tennessee wins a close game late or UTSA just blows them out. I think it's either or with that.
I would agree with that. If we look at MTSU's schedule, yeah, they beat Miami. They boat raced Colorado State, who's abysmal. They have a FCS win, I think, over Tennessee State. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah,
And
Tennessee State.
okay, and then absolutely blown the doors off of their program by JMU and
Yeah,
JMU's
JMU
first
pumped 'em.
FBS game. Offensive firepower, JMU has that. UTSA has that. Miami doesn't.
Yeah, for sure.
Shocker.
That's
I guess we're Splitsville on that.
We are very split on that, which is good because most of the time it's like one person is like, I don't like that, but I'm not really going to say much about it. Or all of us love the pick and then they lose by 46.
It's true.
Nebraska.
Because of the vibe. It's the vibes.
The vibes for real.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
man.
a vibes game, but not in your favor. I think it's a reverse vibes game.
It's a
Whoa,
7:30
reverse.
kickoff too in Murfreesboro.
The first
Yeah.
ever reverse vibes game.
Anti-vibes.
Anti vibes.
I'm really looking forward to that game. I think it will be fun. For your sake, I hope MTSU competes. Dave and I defer. Okay, now cue the Jeopardy music. What team does Miles Hastings play quarterback for? If you knew,
Got
please
friends.
comment below. Pause the video, comment below if you knew. The answer is UC Davis. I'm going to the FCS well once again, but I'm picking an FCS team to be the top 5 FCS team. Montana State, well, they let me down, even though they averaged a touchdown per quarter against Oregon State in Portland the other week. Montana State quarterback Tommy Mellott is out with injury, head injury, so he's not playing in this game. We're looking at a fun 7:15 p.m. Pacific time ESPNU kickoff on Saturday night. I'm telling you, these big Sky games that get on ESPNU always deliver. If you've seen some of the Montana State, Eastern Washington, Weber State games that have been on ESPNU in recent years, they're always good. They're always coming down to the wire. They're always super competitive. UC Davis is 1-3. They held their own against Cal for like a half, and then it got out of hand, whatever. Barely lost South Dakota State. Boat race San Diego. Barely lost to Weber State last week. 2 of the teams they lost to, Weber State, South Dakota State, top 10 in the FCS, lost by a combined 7 points. UC Davis is really good. They're unranked at 1-3, but their schedule's just been a gauntlet. They're too good of a team to start 1-4. I love the spot for them on national TV. McCallum Castles is a NFL tight end. He's going to have a lot of eyes on him in this game. Redshirt freshman Rex Connors is a stud at safety, and defensive back Devin King. I expect him to make some big plays in this one. And I know dang well this was my vote for the Transfer Portal CFB Group of 5/FCS Game of the Week. I'll be tuned in for all 60 minutes.
There's mine too, actually.
And Drewster last down.
Shame.
I trust you on this one, Liam. I don't know enough about either team to give input, but I trust you.
Hey man, I'm just banking on those vibes. 1-3 team. You
Well,
win this game. You're 2-3, top 25.
The last time someone picked UC Davis, they sold the bag on me, man. So that's all. That's the analysis I can give you.
Sure did.
But in fairness, it is FCS versus FCS. So as Montana State has been good for a long time in FCS, but I could see UC Davis actually giving them a really good game. So I'm with it.
I'm going to be so let down when UC Davis opens as a 21-point road favorite for no reason. That'll just be par for the course with how my picks have gone, what the spreads have been. But yeah, I don't know what the spread in this game will be. If I had to guess with Mellott out, I would guess like 4.5 or 5 for Montana State.
I did some soul searching on this play. The board wasn't really talking to me, and I had to dive deep. And I found this little stat this morning when I was scrolling through Twitter. Shout out Sickos Committee for it. They retweeted from, I forget the other account. But in the last 12 years, Arkansas State has beaten Louisiana Monroe. Louisiana Monroe hasn't beaten Arkansas State on the road since 2001. That all changes on Saturday. The Warhawks are winning this game. This is a Sickos pick of the week. I thought about staying in the Power 5, but I said, no, this is the upset special. I'm going with a special pick. The Louisiana Monroe Warhawks win this game. this is just strictly because they're due. They're due for this win. And I think quarterback Chandler Rogers is going to run the ball over the place. He loves to run the ball, doesn't pass the ball a lot. But I think that they're going to try to shut him down with the pass, and he's going to be able to scramble, much like Daniel Jones did last night in that beautiful Monday Night Football game. But I think that the Warhawks are due. They're a 7-point dog. They win this game outright.
I got some serious Lee Corso vibes from you at the beginning of that spiel. I was waiting for like Dylan to hit a not so fast, my friend. Apparently, maybe he's the biggest Arkansas State guy, but I am with the pick.
I'm a big fan of Champ Fleming's, man. I mean, he's what, 4'3", and he's just lighting dudes up out there. I mean, I absolutely love Champ Fleming's, even as, you know, someone that's an Oregon fan. He transferred from Oregon State. I don't know enough about the two teams other than that, so I'll ride the wave.
And Louisiana Monroe's coming off of a conference opener win in the Sun Belt play. They I think they could be due as well. 7.5, 8 point. You said, Dave.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's a pretty good line for Louisiana Monroe to make some noise there.
I completely forgot that they beat Louisiana Lafayette last week, and that they never beat them.
Yes, that's what
Cajuns were a letdown this year.
Yeah,
I thought ULL was like going to be a 10-win, 11-win team still, and they look like, I don't know, Idaho could get them in the Kibbe Dome.
Yeah, that's a game that Louisiana Monroe, historic, like the last 10 years, they never beat Lafayette. They never beat the Cajuns, and they finally did. So I think now they might as well exercise all these demons, and they'll beat Arkansas State.
I do like Rogers at quarterback. Let's see if he could hit up Boogie Knight for a few scores.
Wait a the Warhawks.
What was that?
Go Warhawks!
What is this show?
I don't know, man. I'm just jumping in blind, pretty much.
The vibes.
I'm just here for the vibes. My second pick, I tried to figure out whether I should go bold or I should go smart, because I would like to go 2-0. Has anybody gone 2-0 so far?
No.
Leica
should have had it.
Yeah, Leica was the closest, probably.
Yeah, well, it sucks to suck about that, huh? I'm gonna go bold. Screw it. I'm here for the vibes. Cincinnati is a 9.5-point favorite.
Let's
over Tulsa.
go.
Give me Tulsa, man. Give me Tulsa. I love
Tulsa.
Yeah,
hey, it's very fitting you chose the Golden Hurricanes when there's a hurricane coming. It makes sense. See, I see
the
the
vibes.
vibes. You see it, brother.
That's yeah. It took the words out of my mouth. Totally had that written down for sure. Dude, Davis Brin and this Tulsa offense, I just think they're going to have a huge day against Cincinnati. Keelan Stokes, I hope he's okay. He had a really scary moment against Ole Miss last week, rather. And this, I don't think they just need to rely on him, though. They got Juan Carlos Santana, Malachi Jones, Isaiah Epps. Like, those guys are loaded. That's 94% of their passing production right there between those four guys. I know Cincinnati's probably riding high. Ben Bryant had a big day. Tyler Scott had a big day, blah, blah, blah. It's Indiana. I just think that Tulsa is going to do what they were supposed to do against Cincinnati last year and beat the Bearcats.
I like it because I think Cincy is not good. I think they were horrible against Miami of Ohio. I thought they were bad against Arkansas and still should have beat Arkansas because, hey, Arkansas ain't beating Alabama this week because Arkansas ain't good. But the focus on Cincy, they keep losing some games. We start talking a lot more about Fickle getting up on out there.
I was going to say, Tulsa kind of, I mean, they missed a kick against Wyoming week 1. They were competitive with Ole Miss for a while. I think they only lost by 8 at the end, but I really think that could be due to, spoil Cincinnati's chances in the American. Honestly, I think the American is a lot more wide open this year, especially with my ECU Pirates falling to Navy and home in double overtime. I mean, USF at any time could play really well and spoil it. Houston could bounce back. I mean, it's really the American is all over the place. And that could be a game that could really shake things up.
Yeah. I do want to say, I did pick last week in I believe it was our week 4 preview pod. I did say that I think Ole Miss was going to be really tested against Tulsa last week. I know that the score is probably a little bit closer than what the game actually was, because I think Tulsa scored.
I think they scored.
pretty late to cut it to 8. So Ole Miss had that one in the bag, but I really think that this Tulsa team is really, really good, and they might be a sleeper in the American to win.
They've been playing some real close
Yep.
games, and I thought a really impressive win too was the win over Jacksonville State, who's going to be at FBS transition school. They smoked them. That was a 3-0 Jacksonville State Rich Rod led team that was coming in there with upset thoughts, and Tulsa was like, "Nope, we a good football club."
Smoked them.
Every year it feels like Tulsa is playing like, I know Cincinnati's in their conference, but every year they'll play like an Ohio State, they play an Ole Miss, they play all these big top tier Power 5 teams, and every year Tulsa keeps it close, or at least keeps it close to the fourth. It's a bizarre thing. It's just something that I picked up on, and I think they have a shot to win this game as well. They're a lot of fun.
This one I know will probably not be liked by my dear friends on this panel, who I appreciate very much.
Oh my gosh!
I'm picking the SEC battle of the likely going to be super under War Eagle. I'm gonna take Auburn over LSU, and it's kind of I believe Auburn is +9, or they're 9-point underdog at home. But this is like going to be the type of game where if it comes down to like the last possession and Auburn's at Jordan-Hare Stadium and kind of a deal, they will have to contain Jalen Daniels' ability to create with his legs. But I kind of like Auburn in the spot to improve to 4-1, despite my feelings of TJ Finley not playing well. I could say this is kind of a anti-vibes but vibes type of deal here. That's how I feel.
When you were leading that up, I thought for sure you were just going to go for the Stanford Oregon vibes. I thought that's where we were headed.
I would have left.
No, I wasn't going to do Dylan dirty 2 weeks in a row, man. Dylan's my guy. I can't do that again. Plus, I showed Oregon twice. I can't go against him. But yeah, I'm gonna take Auburn over LSU for my second one. It's kind of how I felt about Texas Tech and Texas last week. I guess that's how I could compare it.
And I got to make the graphic too, so you got to think about that. I'm the one that has to put that out there into the works. So yeah, good thing getting there.
Oh, true.
Robbie Ashford breakout game coming. I'm with you. I don't love this Auburn offense or defense, frankly, but like I think Robbie Ashford gives them more of a chance than TJ Finley would have. And I'm waiting for the breakout game because I know he's super talented, doesn't really have the talent around him, but this might be the game. We'll see.
Dude, I'm like
7 o'clock ESPN game kind of gives me like maybe the home team usually wins in that spot for SEC. Just the feeling. Actually, I take that back. Kentucky did beat Florida in that window, but
there are just so many awful offenses, especially with schemes that are just prehistoric. So like Texas A&M, they've got their whole T-Rex scheme. Auburn's definitely got like a Bronchosaurus scheme. Like this stuff is bad, dude. You've got pterodactyls at Wisconsin. The Stegosaurus at Iowa. There's just so many prehistoric offenses that need to be extinct. Miami's definitely a Gigantosaurus, as I'm looking at names of dinosaurs on Google right now. Like, unfortunately, they didn't give me half the names they said. Like, what's an Archaeopteryx? I don't know. Probably the Pitt offense. Like, it's just gross at so many levels.
Hey, don't sleep on Izzy.
Hey, Izzy to the hizzy, but that offense that Narduzzi's got run, hey, I ain't gonna forget when they were running straight up. It looked like they had 16 offensive linemen on the field, no receivers, no tight ends on 1st and 10 from their own 2 against West Virginia. Those guys play smash mouth, whatever dinosaur. I said football.
Well, I'm taking War Pterodactyl over the the LSU Triceratops is. I'm gonna take War Pterodactyl on this one.
I actually had that written down. I had a couple that I could have gone to more normal upsets. Like we're all done with our picks, right? So I
Yeah.
can bring up my honorable mention. I thought Tech over K-State would have been a good one, but I want to go Sickos. I had Auburn over LSU. But yeah, I think Auburn could win that game just because it's just going to be a weird game with two teams no one really cares about. I don't think either team's very good.
There's your 9-6 triple overtime game right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be one of those games where it'll probably go to overtime like the Auburn-Mizzou game, and then it'll get to the 2-point tries, and no one will score. Or they'll just keep scoring nonstop. It's just going to be like a Penn State-Illinois game last year. That's what it's going to be like, I feel like.
Oh,
Yeah, it's going to be a gross game.
that might be a good way to end this.
The over-under is 45.5.
Yeah, it's going to be gross.
Even if it go to OT.
Dave, we already spoke about Michigan, Iowa, and a potential 9-6 game there. We don't need to go down that road.
Okay, fine. 6-4. Okay.
Yeah, let's not go
6-4.
back to that well.
6-4, and they're all the 2-point tries.
Hey man, let's recap
Or
our
nothing at
picks.
the end of the third quarter.
Recap our picks right quick, starting with you, Dave.
So I am on Rock Chalk Jayhawks to beat Iowa State, and I'm on the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks to finally win at Arkansas State for the first time since 2001.
The whole nation is just looking at ULM and it's like, when are you guys gonna do it?
Yeah, it's
A lot of pressure. Why isn't College Game Day there?
It really should be.
Iowa over Michigan for no reason. UC Davis over Montana State for all the reasons.
I got TCU over Oklahoma and Tulsa over Cincinnati. My honorable mention, by the way, Charlotte over UTEP.
NCSU over UTSA and Auburn over LSU. My apologies.
Yeah, those are our picks. Please, again, make sure to like and subscribe. Consider that, please, please, please. And comment below some of your upsets. Like, please, we want to talk more about these upsets.
I
Like,
want to hear them.
yeah, exactly, Dave. We want to hear. We don't care if they're gross. Did you not just see the picks that we gave out this week? We want to see your
We want
NC
chaos.
State's over Clemson's, your Rutgers over Ohio State's. Like, we're here, we're waiting. Send them in. We'll see you next week for week 6. This season is flying away way too quickly, much like the pterodactyl. We'll see you on the next one.